We are uniformly and completely opposed to this development.
Rallying the crowd who came to hear about a proposed development on open land along Route 2, Representative David Rogers said all local state legislators will work to stop it. Oaktree Development is planning 219 units on 7 of the 17 acres in East Arlington, long owned by the Mugar family.
Bears and squirrels and deer, oh my, if you build, they're gonna die. Bears and squirrels and deer, oh my, if you build, they're gonna die.
Outside the meeting, crowds warning rush hour commuters on Lake Street that with its proposed 300 parking spaces, the project would make managing the heavily traveled road even worse.
When I moved into Lake Street, this was a nice street. This was fine. It was normal traffic for a relatively, busy street. Now it's ridiculous. And I think what's very frustrating is that all you're doing is adding more traffic.
A civil engineer hired by Oaktree estimates 1 car per minute will travel Lake Street during peak commuter hours, with 70% heading to and from Route 2, asserting that won't impact much.
We model the effect of that. How much more delay does that mean? How much more queuing does it mean? Does it change how a signal works or a ramp works? And the answer, and it's documented and will be subject to peer review as well as state level review, many eyes on this, shows that the answer is it will not.
Developers say they will also seek a direct access ramp to Route 2, which has failed in past proposals. Other issues voiced, the effect on already stressed schools like Hardy Elementary. School committee member Bill Hayner, not speaking on behalf of the committee, has serious concerns.
If we just look at the potential of one child out of one out of every 5, and there'll be a lot more than that, this school right here behind us will see 40 new children, which is 2 full classes that we don't have. The town of Arlington is exploding with just the residential property that we have right now.
The biggest reason why people don't want the development, though, flooding. According to the Coalition to Save the Mugar Wetlands, all but 1.5 of the 7 acres where a mix of 4-floor apartments and townhomes would sit is in the FEMA floodplain. Oaktree developers saying their on-the-ground survey is more accurate and shows most of the development will be on uplands. And they would divert frequent flooding from the neighborhood roads.
When that area fills up with water, it'll be headed south towards to Route 2 and the Little River. Majority of the building is on the 5.5 acres of upland above the 100-year floodplain. Any areas that are impacted under the floodplain, the town requires that be mitigated. FEMA requires that to be mitigated. We will mitigate to that and anything else that we can beyond.
I don't think the environmental science backs them up in the slightest. So they're going to make any promise they possibly can in order to do something that benefits them. However, the situation now is already so bad that the idea that they're going to come up with something that's going to improve it by actually paving over wetlands, I don't believe.
The big question in all of this is what can the town of Arlington actually do to stop the proposed housing project along Route 2? With 25% of the units affordable, developers can skirt local zoning bylaws under Chapter 40B. Still, all needs to be vetted, but this fight might be in the people's hands.
And as our previous history here in this town has shown, in terms of fighting development, fighting for improvements in neighborhoods, improving the quality of life for residents here in Arlington, it's when you come to a meeting like this and we stay together, we will win.
Town Selectwoman Diane Mahan is hopeful this latest proposal will end up like the rest by the Mugars throughout the years, dead in the water.
Especially having all the town leaders and the legislative delegation unified that we're not going to do anything to help you here.
But project developers say the Mugars have owned the land for 50 years, and it's time.
I know they are determined that something will happen with this land. I know that that's something that they haven't been able to work out an alternative with the town, and they're saying, we've waited long enough. The combination of housing with a small footprint, other people would be here because they like the connection to the T and use of the bicycle path. It's a good time.
Brenda Mahoney, Arlington Public News.